Hi everyone, it's Thursday night, the 30th of July, and day 212 of Living the Dream. Here's my power statement I had for today. I will watch more YouTube video tutorials on setting up my YouTube ad so that I can finish setting it up with its thumbnail pick and the right kind of link to that thumbnail pick. And then I'll choose which ad I'm going to launch first. That said, before I talk about the power statement, I want to review my to-do list with you. Here's it is for Thursday. And it's my number one most important, my fun task, my exciting task, and then a few other notes and some other things I got done right there. I'm going to wad that up and got that done. Also, there's some other notes I went through and all the things I learned. And wad that up and I'll explain about that here in just a moment. All three of these important tasks were related to getting my Facebook ad manager all worked out and getting a coach as well. My number one most important task today was to finish watching the YouTube ad about doing thumbnail picks, like I said, for my YouTube ad video. And my fun task was to get into the InVideo platform, which lets you add graphics and do animations and that kind of thing. I want to get in there and play around with that, see if that's a tool I can use for doing my YouTube ads in the future. My exciting task was to go through my list of questions that I had written down about setting up YouTube ads that I don't know how to do in the Google Ad Manager with one of their helpers, which I am calling my YouTube ad coach. So that was the heart of my task for today that I had listed to work throughout the day. So let's go through my end of the day success routine questions and see what all of it that I got done today. Croy said, get honest with yourself, Marty. What didn't go well today, or what could you have done better today? In other words, what can I do better? Well, did you wake up early and start strong? Got that done. Did you start your morning with power? Always do it every morning. It's just so great. Win the morning, win the day. Were you productive throughout your day? Pieces through the portal of my mind into the world of the physical, one right after another. Yes, yes, yes. Did you get the most important things done? I'll talk about that. Did you move your goals forward? Absolutely. Did you show up as the person you wanted to show up to be, as the person you know you need to be, and that serves you the well or the best? Yes, I did. And what about your personal time with Kathleen? We had a lovely night tonight. And were you present? Yes, we were present for each other. In summary of these get honest with your questions, I say, were you honest with yourself about today's task, Marty? Did you keep your commitments and did you keep your promises that you made to yourself this morning? Well, as I reviewed all that I experienced and all that I got done today, I can say yes to that question. I absolutely kept my promises that I made to myself this morning. Next is, what movies did you watch in your mind today, Marty, during your mindfulness time? Did you make time for them? And were there any new movies that your two amigos put onto the screen of your mind throughout the day today? And if so, what were they about? Well, like all the days leading up to this one, I certainly watched my must-see TV favorite 5 movies. What are they? Well, the first one is my why. That's one of them is visualize Kathleen's retirement and cheering and kids around and flowers. Anyhow, and then throughout the next one is my vision, one of which is my big man's trike and riding around with her. There were multiple pre-plays of me imagining these pre-played movies. Another one is my coaching. The next one is my doing insights interviews. And my next one is going on to the Facebook Messenger Living the Dream Mastermind group and communicating back and forth in that. Those are the 5 movies, but there were some pre-plays of me imagining my YouTube ad running all day today and my Facebook ad running all day today, and people clicking on the video and actually clicking on the submit button because they want to participate in the focus group and clicking the free gift and listening to Going to the Movies podcast. All that was going on throughout my day in my mind today. I had the opportunity on Wednesday to work with a gentleman by the name of Jonathan I mentioned, who was my Google Ads YouTube ad account, he said. And then today, ad account manager. And then he said, and then today I received a call from a young woman named Priyanka. She was wonderful. She answered all of my questions that I had written down and come up with after I talked with Jonathan, trying to go through. I was stumbling here and didn't know how to do that. And where could I find that? How do I mic this? And how to do that? Well, she told me about several tutorial videos that I could check out. And she also answered most of the questions that I had. And she was so reassuring. She helped me with navigating on the dashboard itself, and she helped me with setting up my call to action, where that button was and how that's set up, and how to add that little links and all that kind of thing on my YouTube ad. She talked with me about how to design the right kind of call to action. I mean, just so many things. She was fantastic. Next, Corey asked, was there anything that didn't go well today, Marty? In other words, was there one thing you could have done better? And so what would that one thing be that would make all the difference going forward and put it into a power statement? Well, after getting up to my office and after going through my workday checklist and my success vitamins and checking my emails, checking my accounts, and listening to Survivor and Carrie Underwood's The Champion, I jumped right into my YouTube ad manager and got around looking in there. Well, here's what came up, and with what I came up with, and that I'm going to use from a power statement for tomorrow. I will finish setting up my YouTube ad tomorrow with its thumbnail pick and the right link working on, and with the right size and all that kind of thing for the request form call to action. And then I'll choose which ad. When that's all done, I'll choose which ad I'm going to click publish and launch. Wow. Next, I want to answer a question I came up with as part of my getting honest with myself routine, and that is, were there any mistakes or failures I had throughout my day-to-day? And if so, was there anything I can turn into a tool of success going forward? Well, early on, I ran into a snag where I didn't know where to find things that I wanted to see and to have working in this ad. That's why having Priyanka call me was a godsend. I don't think having the difficulty that I had and navigation challenges that I had in my ad manager was a failure, but I needed help. It's just the fact that I'm not familiar with that platform, and it's kind of a learning process, but I know I'm going to get better as I go along and do more and more and more, and I'm going to become that expert. So the tool of success I used today was to use my YouTube coach. Aren't coaches great? Priyanka, she was great. Having coaches, living the dream coaching. The next question is, what's your biggest success today, Marty? In other words, what did you do well today? Well, my biggest success today was I got all my YouTube ads set up, questions answered, and I'm ready to do a great YouTube job and become a great YouTube advertiser. Absolutely I am. But the fact is I've started, and I can only get better from here as I gain more and more knowledge on how to set things up and to run them and what works, what doesn't work, the testing. I'm going to learn all about that, and I'm excited about how far I've come so far, and that makes me feel like I have really accomplished a milestone in what I started a couple weeks ago here with this Facebook and now YouTube ad. So here's my power statement for tomorrow. I will do some more video watching of my YouTube ad tutorials so that I will finish setting up my ad properly with that thumbnail with the right links and so forth. And then I will choose which ad I'm going to publish. And then, bam, launch it. The fact is, finishing my number one most important task video was great, and here's what I finished. I finished watching the YouTube ad about how to design and set up a thumbnail pick for a YouTube. In fact, I watched two of them. It was great. I also finished my fun task, which was to get into the InVideo platform and play around with it. I actually published a little video with things floating in and handling and saved that, and I learned a lot about that program. This program lets you add graphics and animations and expand words and float them and how to bring them in, much like Publisher, but it deals directly right on the video. So very cool. And lastly, I finished my exciting test, which was to go through my list of questions that I wrote down as I worked in the ad manager, which were all about setting up my YouTube ad in the Google Ads Manager and that thumbnail and so forth, and get them answered by Jonathan or one other helper. And I had that helper, Priyanka. She helped me answer all those questions. And because Priyanka called me, it was great. I got it done. The next step of my end of the day success routine is to rate your day and your day's effort. And so I gave today a 9. I gave it a 9 because I not only worked at the speed of 9 today, I also learned and took notes on a considerable amount of more information on setting up and doing Facebook ads in my DIY, do-it-yourself folder. And I'm having videos I'm going to save. I'm going to help my beginner entrepreneurs, clients, learning how to do that as well. And I'm going to be ready for that. So bam, done. Today was a great day. Okay, I want to end the day strong. Here's what I'm grateful for today. I'm grateful for the principle that counsels us to bloom where we're planted. None of us are in a place that is too small to grow. That's a fact. Whenever our place may be on the farm, whatever it may be, on the farm, in the office, behind a counter, at a teacher's desk, in a kitchen, wearing a uniform, blowing a whistle, or caring for a child, when we feel that place is to be the best of our abilities, notice when we feel that place to the best of our knowledge, we bloom where we're planted, personal growth is inevitable. 3 things at least begin to happen. We do a better job of what we are doing. We expand our talents through vigorous use, repeated muscle exercise, and we fit ourselves for larger responsibility and wider opportunity that's yet to come. The next thing I'm grateful for is the law of there's no place like home. This law says, like Dorothy, a Wizard of Oz, in her search for Oz, says this: there really isn't any place out there quite like our own home. our own backyard. Many of us spend our lives searching for success when it is usually so close that we can reach out and touch it. The question of how do we grow and prosper in our own acres of diamonds is one that we should all consider and answer for ourselves and continue on our journey to living the dream. Next, I'm grateful for Russell H. Conwell, who is the founder of Temple University. He said, it's important to get into sympathy with the local conditions of a town or city and see what has been their history, what opportunities they had, and what they failed at as a city, and every town has failed at something, and then simply talk to those people about the subjects which apply to them locally. The idea here is that in this country of ours, in any city all across America, everyone has the opportunity to make more of themselves in their own environment, with his or her own skill, with his or her own energy, and with his or her own friends. Success is right under our noses. Mr. Conwell was the author of the speech called Acres of Diamonds. What a great little book, which is a story of a man who sold everything he had in his search for diamonds. He wanted to be wealthy, and diamonds was his ticket. At the end, he learned that his own backyard, which was many, many acres, was full of priceless diamonds, but he had sold the property in his search for diamonds to another man who then enjoyed those riches. Oh, so sad. Let's remember this story and search our own success from our own backyard, so to speak. And if we do that, we'll truly be living the dream. There you go. Another day of my journey to business and alignment, and it's come to an end today. I'm getting a little tired, kind of stumbling here. So just know that I'm going to be right back here tomorrow night, sitting right here at my computer, sharing another day in the life of Coach B. I'm going to do an update of what happened in the month of July, because tomorrow's the 31st. Man, July zoomed by. Anyway, until then, I wish you continued success. Good night.